Hello all, I'm Guna Mathivanan, Current Affairs Faculty from Officers IAS Academy. In this video, we will be discussing our 8th Current Affairs hit list topic, that is regarding One Nation, One Election. Friends, recently, government has constituted an 8-member committee under the chairmanship of former President Ramnath Kovind to evaluate the possibilities of having a simultaneous elections for Lok Sabha, state legislature, as well as the local bodies. How it would be if we have one election for selecting MPs, MLAs, as well as for the local bodies. How it would be? So there will be 3 electronic voting machines. So when you go to exercise your vote, you will be in one machine, you will be in one electronic voting machine, you will be choosing a candidate for MP election. In another electronic voting machine, you will be choosing a candidate for MLA election. In another EVM electronic voting machine, you will choose a candidate for the local body election. You will be voting for councillors. So how it would be if we conduct simultaneously? See, this is not new to India. Between 1951 till 1967, we had 4 elections, general elections, where the elections were conducted parallelly for Lok Sabha as well as state legislature. See, this is not mentioned, simultaneous election is not mentioned in constitution. There is no provision which is compelling us to go for simultaneous election. This was a historical coincidence. So what happened post 1967? Many states, they got dissolved. Many states, they got dissolved because of various reasons. So those states, they went for elections at different intervals. So the simultaneous election, that equation got disturbed. But remember, it doesn't mean that post 1967 there was no simultaneous elections. Don't think like that. In limited level, we are practicing simultaneous elections even today. For example, 2019 general elections, Lok Sabha election, and 4 state legislatures went for elections simultaneously. In 2014, along with the Lok Sabha, 8 state legislatures went for elections simultaneously. So in limited sense, yes, it is going on, it is getting practiced. But now the objective is to have one nation, one election in true sense. Right? This idea is not a recent one. If you take since 1983 Election Commission recommended that we should have simultaneous elections. In 19, so if you take in 1999, Law Commission, they were also coming up with a report for suggesting simultaneous elections. In 2015, Parliamentary Standing Committee also recommended, and they also said it is feasible. We can go for simultaneous elections. In 2017, Niti Aayog, they also recommended that we should go for simultaneous elections. Why? Why so many people are suggesting that we should go for simultaneous elections? Because, see, when we have multiple elections, today, every year the country is facing election in different part, right? So we are seeing that the country is in continuous election mode. That comes up with a lot of problems. For example, if you look at the problems in having multiple elections, see, around 200 days in a year is devoted for conducting elections. So Election Commission of India, right, they make use of, Election Commission of India, they do not have separate administrative setup and all. They make use of the existing administrative setup. They make use of the existing police force, paramilitary force to organize the election. 200 days, if the administrative force in different parts of the country is used for conducting elections, what will happen? These administrative force will be finding it difficult to deliver the regular public services. So public services delivery, that will be affected. Think about teachers. For election process, a lot of teachers are being used, right? That is going to affect the teaching process. That is going to have an impact on learning outcome. Also, when election is announced, model code of conduct will be enforced. When model code of conduct is enforced, then the government cannot come up with new initiatives, cannot come up with new welfare measures. So this might even lead to policy paralysis. See, when we look at the amount of money spent on election in 2019 alone, in 2019 general election, 60,000 crores has been spent on conducting elections. Huge amount of money is being spent by government. Huge amount of money is spent by political parties. Huge burden on both government, political parties as well as the candidates. So when we have many elections, let's say in a state, if a state is having one separate election for the legislature, separate election for Lok Sabha, separate election for the local bodies, how much money will be spent? How much money will be spent? So that is another issue. And also during the election process, we see a lot of hate speech. A lot of hate speech. Different political parties, they to advance their political minds, they try to come up with some kind of comments which is polarizing the people, and that can even affect the communal harmony, right? So there are so many issues when we have multiple elections. Citing these reasons, why don't we have one nation, one election? See, this can also improve the voter turnout. Since there is going to be one day you are going to spend, so maybe many people will come forward to vote. That can improve the voter turnout maybe. But however, this one nation one election idea also come up with a lot of challenges and criticism that also we have to evaluate. So what experts are saying, see, first of all, it is going to be an administrative nightmare, a logistical nightmare. See, just imagine conducting election for the entire country in single phase. Do you think it is going to be easy? That to a country with 140 crore population, do you think it is going to be easy? Right? So it is going to be logistical nightmare. So think about the electronic voting machines. How many electronic voting machines we need? If the elections are conducted in different time period, same voting machines can be slightly reprogrammed and it can be used in other locations. But now if we are going to have simultaneous elections, then we should have more number of voting machines, managing the voting machines, safeguarding, protecting, right? Preventing any tampering, everything becomes very challenging. It is a logistical nightmare for the election commission to conduct this, right? And not just that, think about the voters behavior. How many voters will have an informed decision while choosing their candidates for the different elections? Will they not be confused by looking at multiple names, multiple symbols, right? I'm not saying everyone, but there are various sections of society where they might lack awareness, so that is going to have a challenge on the voting behavior. If they get confused, if they vote for the wrong party, for the central level, a voter might choose different political party. At state level, might choose different political party. At local level, might choose a different candidate, different political party. If there's a confusion, then what will be the result, right? And also, when a state is having multiple elections, say for example, a state on an average has 3 elections. One is the MLA election, one is the MP election, one is the local body election. At 3 different time intervals, the political parties will come and face the people. The people can make them accountable for their action. Through their voting, they can reject the government, right? So they can make the government accountable for their action during their election process. So this process makes the government accountable in a state. But when you have only one election, right, for the entire country, only once in 5 years political parties will come and face the people. It becomes very difficult for the people to hold them accountable. Voting is a powerful right exercised by the people. If you exercise it at different intervals, you can be more powerful. When you are able to do only once in 5 years, the voters power can be diluted. The federal features, the federal setup can be affected, expert says. See, for example, you just imagine when there is a simultaneous election for the Lok Sabha, for the state legislature as well as local bodies. These national parties are more powerful, they have more money, they can create more visibility, and that might mask the state issues, that might mask the local issues. People will vote by looking into national level issues for Lok Sabha, state level issues for state legislature, local level issues for the local bodies. But when we have simultaneous elections, the national level issues will mask the state level issues. Right? So it can affect the federal fabric of the country itself. And also, see, this needs a lot of constitutional amendment. It is not going to be easy. Article 83, Article 85, Article 172, Article 174, Article 356, Representation of Peoples Act, everything has to be amended. Article 83 deals with the time period of Parliament, 85 deals with dissolution of Parliament, 172 deals with the time period of state legislature, 174 deals with dissolution of state legislature. 356 deals with president rule. All these has to be amended. So constitutional amendment, right? That is also another challenge. So many experts, critics, they are highlighting these points and they say it is going to be difficult, challenging, and why we have to consider the simultaneous elections now, right? Because of these challenges, right? Government at different time period, even when our former Prime Minister Vajpayee was in power, he was also coming up with a lot of committees to find out the possibilities of conducting simultaneous elections. So different leaders at different time period, they are looking into the challenges and they want to come up with simultaneous elections because of these advantages. But however, these challenges we should not take it easily. So even now, a 8-member committee has been set up to evaluate the possibilities. Right? There are so many challenges. What will happen even if in 2024, even if with political consensus, all the political parties agree for simultaneous elections, even if they agree for simultaneous elections, what will happen after that if states gets dissolved? What will happen if parliament gets dissolved? It has happened several times. Parliament has preponed their elections. It has dissolved even before completing 5 years. What will happen if it happens in future? So we need a clear-cut solution, right? So let us wait and watch what is going to happen, whether we will be having simultaneous elections or the same thing will continue. We have to wait and watch. So here I have given the slides, whatever we have discussed, the content I have given here, you can go through. History I have given, the arguments in favor of simultaneous elections that I have given, right? So you can take a snapshot of this, right? Or if you want, you can pause the video, make precise notes. So against one nation, one election, I have given some points you can go through. Right, what are the challenges in implementing the constitutional amendments, in which articles we need to amend, that also I have given. So how simultaneous elections can be achieved, some recommendations I have given here. So why in news, that also we have discussed. So based on our discussion, I have given a multiple choice question, find out the right answer and give it in the comment section, and also you give your opinion whether we need to go for simultaneous election or not. If you come across any other positive advantages for conducting simultaneous elections, please give in your comments. Or if you find some other challenges, that also you can please post in this comment section. I hope the video was useful. So the next video, I will be discussing an interesting topic called as dark pattern. Till then, see you. Bye. Take care.